there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Darksiders 2 Apocalyptic difficulty video walkthrough. We are still in this heavenly celestial place doing some puzzle solving, some light slatterings of combat, and just casual enjoyment if that's your thing. There is a lot of puzzles coming up here, a lot of them involving turning cranks to open up those portals with your portal gun and using your Darksider clone guy to get shit done. So the puzzles themselves do take some figuring out, and I don't know of how the fidelity of my puzzle solving is going to be in the video, but I can say this much: if you follow exactly what I do, you will get them done in sequence, and once you figure out what the game expects of you, you shouldn't have too much trouble with it. So as previously, if you've been following this series, the last few videos have been me interacting with a stream of people who are subscribed to me, people who are just on Twitch, that type of stuff. And I'm doing a kind of a celebratory, different thing. For getting 8,000 subscribers on YouTube, I'm effectively doing a live commentary. But it's not a live commentary, because that's completely different. This is just me doing my normal commentary style with a bit of an audience. And I get to interact with them, they get to interact with me, and it's something I've never done, so it's interesting anyway. But I will be taking questions, and we already have one over here by a guy called Corey1993, and he says GTA or Saints Row. Then he also says Vice City, or VC and SA. Is that Vice City and San Andreas? I'm not too sure. But I prefer probably Saints Row at this moment in time, just because I like the silliness of it, and I, like him, hated GTA 4. I went to the midnight launch for GTA 4 and came home, played Mass Effect all night, so that just goes to show how excited I was for that game. But I liked Vice City. Vice City is probably my favourite GTA, but San Andreas was really good. You know, I wasn't the biggest fan of playing as a bunch of gangster rappers at first, but you could do so much in that game, and I had it for the PS2, so the game probably looked like dog shit, but I played it to death, so, it's fun times. The Monkey Gamer asks, am I going to play Dark Souls later on? I don't know, dude. I've got a lot of stuff I need to do today. If I decide to be lazy, I might stream some Ninja Gaiden and then perhaps stream some Dark Souls, because I really should start building a new character, because I said I was going to do it the other week and I forgot to do it. But I can't promise anything, mainly because I don't want to stream Dark Souls all the time on Twitch, because then it becomes a Dark Souls stream, and it's the last thing I want it to be. My stream should be about all games. I appreciate there's a lot of people that like Dark Souls, and they would like me to do that, but if you want to watch somebody that streams nothing but Dark Souls, Twitch is filled with those kind of people. Absolutely saturated by Dark Souls players. And I don't want to be known as one of those, and it's not because I've got anything against them, it's just I am by no means a one-dimensional channel for anything, It's just not how I work, and I could do nothing but Dark Souls on YouTube and get significantly higher views, build a pretty big channel much quicker than I am at the moment, and get a lot more money for it, but where's the fun in that? To me, that's not fun, and it just put me in the same situation that Epic Name Bro was in, where everybody was demanding Dark Souls so much he essentially stopped uploading anything and had to take a break from the channel because he didn't want it to just be Dark Souls, and it's not fair that people expect it to be just one thing. But Poundland Warrior, another reoccurring name, says, as a fan of the Fallout series myself, what direction would you like to see for the next installment in the franchise? So, I love Fallout 2. I haven't played the original 1 or 2, the RTS ones. I bought them for Aiden for his birthday a couple of years back, and he said they were cool. But I never played them myself. I played 3, loved 3. Played New Vegas, loved New Vegas. I have faith that Bethesda are going to make a fantastic Fallout game, because the Skyrim engine is such an improvement over the previous one, and it makes me very excited to see how that works. I'm also quite excited to see how it looks on PC, because now I have a PC that can play it, and everybody knows the PC versions are usually the superior edition because of the modding community and all that, so it could be magnificent. As far as do I think it's going to go to a certain city or where do I think it's going to go, I'm not too sure what region they'll probably do. I could imagine them trying to mix it up big time. It wouldn't surprise me if they put it in London or something, just something off the cuff, or Shanghai, or I don't know. Because what you've got to bear in mind is, I think Fallout lives and dies by its Americanism, so they probably can't leave America. It has to be somewhere there, but maybe they'll have some creative liberties on where it goes. Some complete creative liberties anyway. Because Assassin's Creed has got... Ubisoft has got the whole, you know, places that don't exist anymore. You know, that have all had names changed from awesome names like Damascus and Babylon, and now we've got Iraq, Iran, and all these boring names with eyes. So I think they've got the monopoly on those kind of places, so I don't think any other developers are going to have the balls to step into that pantheon because Assassin's Creed does it so well. I'd like to see a feudal Japan, anything, because I'm obsessed with feudal Japan. I don't know why. There's just something about the Ronin era and the samurai when, you know, Bushido was king before it got all crazy with rifles and Tom Cruise and everything. But that's just me. And I don't play Yakuza, so I don't really get any Japanese culture games. I just hope for something more. But right now you can see that I'm running around here because this puzzle is not the most obvious, and the waypoint on this game is the crow. It's the bird, and it's drunk. The thing's been sipping antifreeze. It doesn't know what it's doing, where it's going, and it's completely useless. So at this moment in time, I'm kind of running around like a headless chicken. I do apologise. I did do a crossfade to trim out some of the bits I was confused, and there is the solution. So hopefully you'll be able to piece together the bits you need to do and the stuff that you don't. So Macross98 says Dark Souls 2. Dedicated online mode versus an online integrated into the single player. And there's only one answer for that in my opinion, and that is an online integrated into the single player. Because the thing that makes Dark Souls so good is you play against people who don't do online. You know, it's a game where you will run into someone who has no intentions of fighting another human. Absolutely no intentions whatsoever. He's just got caught with his pants down, or he's got a lack of information or knowledge about the game and how it works, and suddenly, you know, Seraphim 17 has invaded his world and he's shitting his pants. He doesn't know what's going to happen, he doesn't really know what it means, and suddenly this red guy runs in front of him, stands there, eyes him down, and it's just that there are no games at this moment in time that give you such an interesting situation for multiplayer. They just don't. It's weird. It's the weirdest thing ever. And if you watch my first playthrough of Dark Souls, my live playthrough that I did, I get invaded when I don't want to be invaded, and I didn't expect to be invaded because I didn't realise I was in human form. And it's a terrifying moment. It's literally, I do not want to fight this guy because I don't know who he is. He could be the best player in the world. He could be the worst player in the world. You know, for all I know, he might not have arms. He could be playing this with his chin. And he just likes invading because that's how it works. But the pleasure of this game is anybody, anywhere, who decides to try and go in human form is susceptible to being invaded. And I think there's a beauty to that. And I tweeted the other day to you know, prop my Twitter up, and I said, I read the best wrong critique of Dark Souls I ever have in my entire life on the comments for the sales figures on Xbox 360 achievements. And this guy did about 6 paragraphs shitting on the game from a perspective of somebody who knows nothing about the game. And 3 comments below it, guy just simply called him a muppet, which I thought was beautiful. It was the internet embodied the entire philosophy of the entire thing right there. Genius. He's a muppet. This guy's just took all this time to write these paragraphs that were wrong, and so wrong, it was hilarious to anyone who's, you know, played the game, that this guy did not know what he was talking about. And the best line in the entire little fucking diatribe that he did was, unavoidable invasions. So I'm asking the stream right now, and I do apologise people just watching Darksiders 2 if you weren't a part of this. This probably makes for a bad video, but I need to do it because it's my channel and this is how it's going to be. How many here right now would say that the PvP aspect, player versus player, invasions on Dark Souls are unavoidable? Type a number if you think invasions are unavoidable. I'm curious. We've only got, I don't know how many we've got, I can't see the thing, but we've got a handful of people in here. And I'm just going to wait a few moments to see if we can get anything. While I wait, I'm going to talk about Darksiders 2. So, as you can see, more puzzle solving, just going to be running around, jumping on walls, doing all that kind of stuff. Couple of enemies. You'll notice this creature that keeps appearing. You're going to fight him later on in a throne room. He's pretty simple. We're so overpowered now, you're going to have no trouble. But that right there was, what, 30 seconds, 40 seconds. Not a single person typed a number. Do you know why, guys? Because it's fucking wrong. And that guy is a douche. That guy is a complete douche. That's why. This is somebody who has no idea how Dark Souls works, who's perhaps played it for a couple of hours and got bummed. Got completely bummed by invaders when he was trying to get with his little friend to help him beat a boss he couldn't do, or just the enemies, or the cheap deaths. This is a guy who literally could not do Dark Souls, so instead he became the counter-argument, he became the counter-culture. And I am not saying it is bad to go against Dark Souls, because I think if you dislike a game, you should stick to your guns and say why. And I do think there's a lot to dislike in Dark Souls, and everybody's different, everybody's going to say something different, and there will be legitimate haters who hate it for a good reason, constructively, and do it intelligently, and that's fine. But do not put false facts in your argument and then proselytize them to an entire community forum like it's truth, when you're a giant idiot. And the only glorious salvation of this entire topic is that 3 comments down, this magnificent human being called this douchebag a muppet. And right there is justice. That is faith being restored. Freddie Mercury, fist in the air. That is all that you need to know. And I thought it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But that is the joy of the internet, guys. It's interesting. It's really interesting. And it's what makes Dark Souls so beautiful. The fact that you can have on one hand people who have no understanding of how this game works and they can hate it, and on the other hand you can have people who know everything about Dark Souls and they you know, they play it because they love it, they understand it, and it can be difficult to hold the tongue, but they still do, because not everybody's as experienced as we are and not everybody knows it so well. And I think that's beautiful. I really do. But this fight here, guys, this is against this new opponent. He teleports a lot, but you'll notice he's extremely susceptible to the death grip. So pick him up, start beating him up with your combos, and you should be fine. This stuff is pretty simple stuff. So I'm going to go back to the chat. Once again, I do apologise if you want nothing but strategy, but this game is too simple for me to really tell you too much stuff. So Rolling Skeleton Guy it's his birthday today. He's been part of my streams quite a lot. He's a nice guy. So I'd just like to say happy birthday to you, dude. Hopefully you'll have a nice night and you'll stay safe. And it appears that we've got quite a Dark Souls legend in the chat at this moment in time. J Blackmail himself, Martyrs Brigade. Howdy, brother. And he says, most people who have gripes don't have legitimate arguments. Most are comprised of ad hominem attacks or the offering of broad statements. And he's completely true. And you know why he's true? Because this is a guy who himself puts up videos. This is a guy who speaks over his videos in an opinionated way, sharing what he believes, and he gets a lot of shit for it, because he gets a lot of views, he gets a lot of, you know, cool people who check them out. He also gets the trolls, and that's what it is. If you're on YouTube and you're putting your perspective out there, you are going to come across every counter-argument, every single person who wants to be a dick for the sake of being a dick. And that's just how it works. It's just how it's always going to work. Because it's so easy to sit, you know, behind a computer screen and just type, oh, this guy's a dickhead, this guy doesn't know what he's on about. It's so much harder to put yourself out there, and that is why I will always have more respect for anyone who does that, like Martyrs, you know, like myself, like anybody here who's a YouTuber or a streamer, or anybody who at least has the courage to say, this is my opinion, fuck you.